Squid Game's a
Okay.
very bloody show. It was just the most excruciating, difficult thing. Like anything in life, when you're in the middle of a situation like that, you either give up or you
Mhm.
keep going.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Beyond the Bar podcast. I'm your host, Anissa Toba, and I'm still laughing. I'm still smiling because I have such an amazing guest here today. With me, it's as LeAnn Wilcox Plutnicki, and I'm smiling because we just got done discussing the history of our last names and trying to uncomplicate complicated stuff and talking about having a complicated last name. Anyway, well. The reason why I am so excited to have LeAnn here with me is she really is a multifaceted personality. Um, I was describing to our producer, Michael, that she's a total firecracker. She's a retired staff editor for the New York Times, but she's a super active mom, coach, and spirited competitor on the Netflix show Squid Games. Now, LeAnn, hailing from the Midwest, now living in New Jersey, we were actually just discussing earthquake a little bit ago. She really does have an inspiring story, and I cannot wait to dive in. LeAnn, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I don't know how inspiring I am, but just living life here.
See that's what you say, but you really do you do inspire me, motivate me, and I am really intrigued. So you've shared a little bit with me. So let's start with your story growing up in the Midwest. I remember you saying that you were encouraged to be soft spoken and proper. Tell me, how that sort of impacted you growing up and fueled you to become who you are today.
Wow. Well, boy, it's funny that you say that because I was just thinking about this morning, how now at my age, I just turned 66. Now I don't have any of those constrictions on me. And when anyone says something to me like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that," or "You should be quieter," it takes me immediately back to my girlhood where I was frequently told by the women in my house, and even though they were incredibly strong women, "You're talking too loud. Sit with your knees together. Don't sit splayed out." I always had a ball in my hand. I did not want dolls. I did not see the point of a doll. Like a ball you could play, like you were up playing.
Yeah.
The closest thing I came to dolls was playing jacks on my front porch, but still rather competitive. Um, I definitely was a tomboy growing up. My mother was my coach. My 3 brothers, I played with them, but I was so happy when my little sister was born because I finally realized I was gonna have someone to play catch with because she too ended up being an athlete. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was just a tomboy growing up, and that stigma did affect me for so much of my life. And
Mm.
now I'm incredibly proud to be that tomboy mom, and I look at the word, it's sort of like I've taken ownership of the word in a different way.
Mm.
Um, 'Cause to me, that now represents, be you. It's okay to be strong. It's okay to have a voice. Uh, and it's really okay to beat anybody in anything you compete in, you know? You don't have to be deferential to other people, and typically boys or men. You can just be the best you can be. So that I guess that did drive me. I mean, being an athletic girl, I that's all I wanted to do, and that's all I did. I played sports year round with my mom being my coach, and I was offered full rides to play basketball in college, which to
Wow.
me just kind of blew everyone's mind at the time because this was 1976.
Wow.
And I was a Title IX baby. I was able to take the opportunities that were beginning to unfold for so many women and continue to. And I got a chance to go to college. My parents never could have afforded it. They had 5 kids. My dad worked 3 jobs. My mom also worked and did everything in the house. Um, and I got to go to college for free, and it was an incredible way to start my adult life.
There's so much there. Talking about an inspiration. Yeah, it is interesting how you not that you're different, just it almost sounds like you maintain that confidence at such a early age. You know, you played with the ball, not the dolls. You knew what you liked, what you didn't like, um, and you carried that through. What was so you played basketball in college, and then what happened after? Did you play all the way through?
I played I played I went to college for 4 years and I graduated. I was hurt my sophomore year in the very first home game of the season.
Mm,
Really blew out my knee in a bad way. So I was redshirted, and that means because it happened so early in the season, at the time I was allowed to play an additional year. So I could have played my 5th year in college had I stayed. I ended up only playing 3 seasons because I opted not to stay. Um, I opted not to stay with the team. Uh, that's sort of another whole different story because a new coach came in my senior year, and her first words, though she would probably deny it at this point, but her first words to the team was, "And we'll have none of that Billie Jean King crap around here." Now, this was
what?
a team. Yeah, this was a team, and think of this was like in the 19 this was like 1979, 80. So, Billie Jean was in her prime at this point,
Right,
um,
right.
and what she meant by that was we're not having any, equal pay, equal rights, women this, women that, you know? She didn't wanna ruffle feathers, and I understand that because
Mm,
as a woman doing her job, she needed to keep her job.
mm,
The previous coach was adamantly, feminist and did everything
mm,
she could to start the program and to continue the program, but she got tired of fighting and decided to
mm.
retire.
Yeah.
So, when the new coach came in, that was her greeting to us, and she also told us we would be wearing dresses to every game, and I'm like, "No." That's just
No way. No
that's
way.
that is not what I'm doing. So, I don't know what your question was there, but, oh, so I did play 3 years. I could have played 4, uh, and then I graduated. I was drafted, by the Women's Professional League at the time, even though my leg was in a hip to toe cast from a second knee surgery. Um, and after speaking with the coach, she said, "That's okay. We want you the following year. Please, like, just please come." I did not go. I entered work life, but yeah, basketball opened up a lot of doors and opportunities.
Now, so I'm getting to the part where actually you became a coach. Did you continue so did you continue as a coach after, or is this something that you
No,
actually no, that
no,
was not right after.
no, I did coach out of college. I was an assistant coach at a junior college in the little town where I moved to in Illinois. I didn't keep doing that because I got journalism jobs and ended up moving away. And so when I came here to New Jersey, I'm in a little town in Bergen County, and I had daughters, I decided that I would coach their teams. So I coached in our town's recreation leagues and in our town's travel leagues where you play other towns. And I still do that. And I did it for both of my daughters. So about 3 years ago, when my youngest daughter went to college, maybe it was more than that, 4, um, I decided to volunteer again and start coaching the little girls. So I, along with another woman in town, neither of us have children on the team. We coach right now, we coach 10-year-old girls. Next year, they'll be 11. And we're going to stick with them all the way to seventh or eighth grade before they go to high school. And we're really lucky. There's no daddy ball. We're just here to teach them
Yeah.
and have it be a great experience and to learn a lot of lessons in life. And they're they are incredible kids, and their parents are just as incredible as they are. So we're lucky. We're because I know it's not like that for everybody in town, but we are really lucky. And I love it. I love coaching those kids. I love seeing the things that they do and say. We make a point, the my co-coach Donna and I, we make a point to give them freedom on the court, and that's
Mm,
hard. It's really
yeah.
difficult for little girls to not just follow the directions. Well, my coach said to do this, I have to do it this way. I can't pass there. I can't dribble here. We want them to be free to make mistakes, but then the next time they're a little bit higher in their skill level, and it just kind of keeps going. And we've really hammered that home a lot this season. And we'll do it again just for them to be creative and think for themselves on the court and not have a fear of failing, because we've had to get
Wow.
through with a couple of our players to not worry about making mistakes and failing, because the point is to get out there and get back up and try it
Yeah.
again. And I just think there's something in little girls. I mean, if you watch little girls play and you watch little boys play, the boys don't care if they make a
No.
mistake. They still think they're God's
Yeah.
gift to the NBA, and they're going to still keep jacking up shots or
Yeah.
do whatever. Girls are like, nope, I made a mistake. I can't do that again. And I'm not grossly, misgeneralizing here. It really is how society pounds into girls, um, their norms for behavior. I don't know what it is, but we really try hard to break them out of it, and it's fun. Even their offense, there's no there's no pattern to their offense. They make their own decisions on what they're doing, and when they do it correctly, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
I'm just taking everything you're saying because I've lived through it. My daughter, I mean, she's now in her 20s, and her dad coached her. It was not easy though. He was tough on her, but
Yeah,
she was through and through an athlete, and so she was very, there was like a new confidence on court. It was great. She was so focused, and it was like she almost like she transformed. She felt I could tell she felt free. And now my granddaughter is who you're describing now is she loves it. There is the air of confidence, and I've got this, and it is incredibly empowering. I remember
it
you
was
told me that you had a saying. You told your girls before every game, something about freedom, be free and
we say a couple of things. My personal mantra right now, which is on one of my little bracelets here, is be free, fierce, and true. So that to me, I tell myself that every day, and I tell that to my son. He recently was in another competition, and I gave him the bracelet to wear during that competition. But we also tell them, it's a very simple phrase, and the former Harvard women's basketball coach used to tell her team this, and oh gosh, I wish I remembered her name right now. I can't remember her last name. Anyway, she would tell her players, act as if.
Mm,
And it's such a simple little phrase, but if you don't, it's sort of like fake it till you make it kind of
mm,
philosophy. But it also is a phrase to tell you, you've got this, you can do this. Have have the knowledge that you are worthy to be in the place you're at. Maybe you're not
yeah.
confident, but you're worthy enough to be there, so we do tell them that. And we cheer before every game, after every practice, after every game, the same cheer, all for one for all. And these kids really have bought in. They really do. They are teammates to each other, I think, on and off the court. They don't hang out together, all of them, but they will defend each other and be there for each other, I think, no matter what. And if they can do that through middle school and high school, we are a success because things change, as they get
Yes.
older. So we're trying to pound it in them now.
Yeah. No, it's healthy. It's,
Yes.
it is because if you really think about how much time kids spend playing sports and at school and so many hours outside of their homes and who impacts them, and you are such a healthy role model, especially for young girls and young women, that is a gift, and I can tell, I can sense that you really love it, you're really truly passionate about it, well, you know what? Let's get back to that scrappy side of you. I actually, I wanna hear so you were on the Netflix show Squid Games, and I
Squid
not
Games.
only that is mind-boggling. I am so impressed, and with your son.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell
No,
me,
this was
how did it happen?
well, this was a reality show that Netflix
Yes,
decided to do based off of the highly successful show Squid Game.
yes,
So they
yes.
decided because it was based on children's stories, they would have a reality show, um, children's games. So Trey, who's always wanted to be in reality shows, he loves Survivor. He hasn't applied for it, but he's always wanted to be in it. He decided to apply for this. So I found out through my older daughter that Trey had asked two of his friends, boys, if they would want to also audition and do the casting call for the show. Because when Trey went through the process, they said, "Is there anybody you'd like to play with as possibly going into the game as a duo?" He mentioned them. I find out and I'm like, "What, Trey? What?" Like, I immediately text him and I'm like, "I'm retired. I'm not doing anything. I'll do it." I hadn't watched the show at that point. Squid Game's a
Okay.
very bloody show.
Yeah.
So I started watching the show. I was beginning to apply. I made my little audition tape, and I'm just like, "This is just random," and that was the way I found out. He he texted or emailed the casting people as soon as I told him. He said, "Oh, also my mom said she might wanna do it." It was within hours they got a hold of me, and then the whole process started. And it was a long process to be cast on the show. I think I heard like over 100,000 people had applied.
Wow.
Um, and they chose 456 because that was the number in the original show. And yeah, we were just, yeah, it was funny. I knew the moment they were going to cast us was when Trey happened to be home. We were sitting in this room and he's sitting next to me and we're talking to the final casting person who's going to make her recommendation to the producers. And I'm looking at Trey and I'm like, "Yeah, you need a haircut." And I'm fixing his hair on the camera. And then
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
"Oh my God." And I know that's when that woman, she probably was like, "Okay, this we're gonna take these two if she's gonna mommy him." So,
Right.
and he's like, "Yeah, would you leave me alone?" So, it was good. It was good, and then we got the call that
Wow.
we would be on it, so that was, but we didn't know what we were signing up for. No one knew what
No.
the games was. So,
Yeah.
fortunately, I had already been training. I had already been doing weight training, and balance training, because when you get to my age, something hits and your balance can go. I hate to. play on words here, but you're teeter-tottering one way or the other with your balance. You're either gonna have it or you're not, and you're gonna have to keep working on it.
Yeah.
So, there's a woman here in my town who's a great trainer. Her name is Dana Strace Nastasi. She does everything via Zoom, since the pandemic. Um, and we started training, and I initially did it because I have to get my knee replaced eventually. I keep
Mm.
putting it off. But I wanted to build my leg up for that. But I also knew, having been an athlete, how the actual act of training gives you that confidence. And
Yes.
and so I knew if I trained, I would be mentally more prepared for whatever the game threw at me, even if I wasn't physically prepared for it. And I know that half the battle is
Mm.
up here, not,
Yes.
here. So, but I did get a lot of muscles too. Maybe I have some bubble back in my butt. I don't know. Um,
Ah,
but like
I love it.
you weight train, and it
I
it
do.
just makes you
Yeah.
there's something about I remember this time in college when I was in really great shape. And I remember walking across campus, and this isn't like a glory days story. I'm walking across campus and I thought, wow, like I could feel the strength in my legs. And I'm like, that feels
Nice.
good to feel that,
Yeah.
just feel that inner strength.
The
Not
core.
just the actual
Yes.
strength, but
Mhm.
it just and that's more how I feel now, having now been doing this for almost 2 years now. I think when you lift weights, especially as an older person, it's more important than cardiovascular training. I really feel that. Um, because it changes your brain. It
Yes.
helps every aspect of your body. I mean, we work on grip. Uh,
Mm.
we work we work on balance and core, and I don't know. I just think it makes a world of difference to how you live your life. And I have to climb up a lot of bleachers. I need to be able to do that. So,
Good for
'cause
you. Good for you.
yeah, I just think, you must feel the same way,
Oh,
weight
yes.
training. You
I
just
really do. Yeah, and internally as well. I know I had to learn how to rest in between, and I was much more effective when I rested. Um,
how often
but
do you
so
lift?
probably 4 times a week,
Oh,
but
that's
I
great.
what yeah, but you know what? With me, I found it almost annoying and taxing. I've never been sort of the kind of a gym junkie that would spend an hour in the gym. To me, it's I get in, I get out, very few rest sessions in between. Mostly, I try to, increase my reps and stay kind of at a moderately heavy weight, but I need to stretch. As you get older, I have found that you need to have those sessions in, and I added yoga, and I have to stretch every morning. If I don't, it's like, ooh, I feel it, but I do feel the difference when I work out, even in my
It
my
makes
mental, yeah, disposition, definitely. But you going back to which is really impressive, going back to the Squid Games, you talked to me about there was an episode. It was pretty intense. The filming was under intense conditions, and it's not necessarily what you see when you watch the show. You really do not know how long some of these scenes actually took and what all you had to
yeah.
endure. What was it? Could you describe that scene?
So I think, the very first challenge that we had to do, which was red light, green light, I had practiced that downstairs in my house because I had a place I could run and stop and get in my position. And my position was like, balance. My knees were bent, my hands were here. And I'm like, I'm not going to be swayed one way or another. I practiced and practiced and practiced. I practiced with my little girls. We would do red light, green light with basketballs, and I couldn't tell them where I was going, but we would all do it, with the basketball. Um, I really worked hard at it. So we get into this game, and we filmed in London, and we were at an old World War One Air Force hangar, the Royal Air Force, and it's where they built the blimps and stored the blimps for World War One. So these are massively huge hangars, and it's not like you can heat them.
Right.
So
Oh,
by coincidence, England had one of their coldest cold spells ever for the month of January. And it was, we learned later, 26 degrees in
oh,
that room. So it was a big room. 26 degrees. We started that challenge. We got to the hangar at about 8 o'clock in the morning after a 2 hour drive to up. Um, we we had to get mic'd. There's just all kinds of things you have to go through before it even starts. So that challenge itself, I got to the hangar at 8 a.m. I didn't get back after the challenge till after midnight. The challenge itself was probably 8 hours long. Even though the clock showed 5 minutes, and they made the editorial decision to not, discuss how long we were in that room doing that challenge, we would have to hold our positions for 15, 20, 30 minutes at a time. You can't move. Now, in that show, you'll see one woman who is squatting and she's like, "I don't think I can do it anymore." And you're like, "What the heck? Why can't you squat for a couple of
right,
seconds?"
right.
We'd probably like that for 20 minutes.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, and it was just the most excruciating, difficult thing. But like anything in life, when you're in the middle of a situation like that, you either give up or you
Mhm.
keep going. And, like, you can't really look farther than just, like, the next minute. That's all you have. You just have to get to the next minute and the one after that, or half hour or hour. And it was as much a mental challenge as it was physical, and it was incredibly physical, that challenge. Surprisingly, I wasn't the oldest person that made it through. Um, there were a couple of 65-year-olds that made it through and one 68-year-old, and
Wow,
we were the last ones to cross, the very last ones to cross,
wow,
but we did it. And
incredible.
I can't think of anything in my life that was more defining, and for me at this point in my life, to have had the opportunity to rediscover the things I thought I had lost, that inner drive and determination, the things I always told the kids, "Go the extra mile, do it," but they never saw me do it. It was just mom
Yeah,
telling them, "Work harder, you can do this, you can, be the best at whatever you wanna be the best at. Just work harder." They never got to see me do that, and this was an opportunity for them to actually see that I could do that too, and for me to see, "Wait a minute, that fire is still there, and it's there for me." Like, I don't have to project it on them, it's there for me. That was revelatory, and I think at the time I didn't realize it. I think it just freed me in so many ways. It
really.
it It allowed me to not, worry about anything other than, like, just me being me, and that was a pretty cool gift to have received from that game. It really was, and, I am just I don't care how much misery I was in, that was the best gift I could have ever received at this point in my life.
Wow, it was almost like a self-discovery. You're unstoppable. That's
It
incredible. A lot of what you describe is like you said, it's a mental dialogue, and you can truly accomplish anything that you allow yourself to accomplish. What as you have evolved as a human being, what advice would you give to women of a similar age, as they're grappling with what's the next chapter in their life and maybe feeling part like they're losing a little bit of their identity, um, what would you say to them?
I would just say don't put yourself in a box. Just, you know, be open to receiving the connections you can have with people. Um, I think people are so surprising and people want to connect with each other, but it's
Yeah.
easier not to.
Hmm.
And just like, I would just say, don't like, I have a neighbor who I adore and if she watches this, she'll be mad at me. But she said, "LeAnn, I finally saw you on the internet in your underwear." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Why? Why?" And I'm like, "You know what? That's me. That's just who I am." And now I don't have to worry
Mm.
about like someone saying, "Oh, don't do that." And plus, on top of that, I had on more than people have on at the beach, so what's the big deal? It's just that I'm 66 years old in my underwear on the internet. Like, it's like
Oh, that is you are such a firecracker. Oh my wait, are you talking about the show? Are you talking about the where you wore your
no,
underwear?
I'm,
Where?
after when the show came out, some companies, sent some things to unbox, and if you wanted to put it on socials,
Oh,
you could. So,
okay. I remember.
I there's a woman, she owns a company called Woxer, and they make underwear, sounds like boxers. So they make boxer underwear, and they are the most amazingly, like, comfortable, cool. This
Mm,
company's so cool. You should interview her. Like, this company
yeah.
is so cool, and they just want to empower women. And I'm
Oh, I
not
love
kidding
it.
you. I put underwear on, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I feel
Oh,
like
great.
Superwoman." It just felt
Nice.
it just
Love
felt different,
that. Really?
but, I was putting my new self in that underwear, so maybe I would have felt like that with any kinda underwear, I don't know. But, yeah, so
This is great.
when my friend told me that, I just thought, "You know what? It just doesn't matter, and it's okay if you don't wanna do it, but it made me happy, so, like, why
Yeah,
wouldn't I do it?" So,
that's right. I mean, you feel like a superwoman in underwear. You just wear it. That's what makes you feel good. You just go for it.
I and
There's
I
something it's
I'm
carefree.
sorry. Yeah, no, right? Like, I just felt I don't know, it just made me happy, and that's the point of that company, which I didn't really totally understand and until I started checking them out, and I'm like, "That's so cool." There's also, like, here I have on black. So, I went to this event that had to do with Squid Game, and just, like, meeting reality people, so there are a lot of people that just become fans of normal
Yeah,
people like me, I guess. And so this event was at a Brooklyn, gay bar, and it's kind of it's a drag bar too, but it was a big event put on by 2 of the Squid players, Dash Katz and, Sam Lance. So they put on this event, and I ordered this outfit. It was like a jumpsuit. It was so out of character for me. It was okay, so it's a jumpsuit. It had pink bananas on it, and I'm like, "Well, it's a gay bar, bananas for the boys." I don't know, I think they actually really liked it. And it just like I'm like, "This is
it's
like,
so
why
funny.
didn't I do this before? Why wasn't I wearing this at
Yeah,
the New York?"
why?
I You know what? You just think you should do what people think you should do, and,
That's true.
no more. I
Yeah.
think my husband might be a little shell-shocked at me at the moment. He's just like, "Oh my god," like, you know, like, I don't even
You
but
know what?
I
It's, my girlfriend just turned 50 and I'm about to follow, and I think I when I texted her happy birthday, I said, "Well, you finally made it to the, what is it? The sexy and the 50 I don't give Club, and I forgot what there was another word, but it rhymed really well, and I think it really represents what you're talking about is that we get to a certain age with a lot of experiences behind, and we just go,
Yeah,
"Why? Why didn't I realize this sooner?" And we're able to just shrug it
right,
off. I
right.
and it's so true. I'm at such a different place in my life right now that even, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I'm going, "I really don't care. You don't like it, don't
It
look at it, don't listen to it. No people pleasing, nothing. This is me and this is me. That's it." That's
oh,
you.
my
It's great.
that I gotta tell you, my all-time favorite song, I don't know how it will ever change, and I hope it's played at my wake, and I hope my wake's at, like, a museum with a nice view of the sunset. Anyway, um, it's called "This Is Me." It's from The Greatest Showman. It's actually playing downstairs right now.
Love it.
It's called "This Is
Really.
Me" from Greatest Showman, and it's the remix of that song. So it has Missy Elliott, Kesha, and, oh, it's another K. She was the original singer in the movie. It
Oh,
is it's just called it's "This Is Me," you know?
yeah.
I'm who I'm meant
Beautiful.
to be, and I just there's nothing that encapsulates how I feel about life right now. It's like, "Okay, well, this might make you uncomfortable if I do this. Sorry, neighbor, but this is me, and you'll get over it, and I'll still be me." You know? It's
That's
like
right. I'll still be rocking the underwear and the weights
yeah,
and with a smile. Yes.
and the jumpsuits, and, like, I'll
And the
go to the
jumpsuit.
gay bars and have a blast with my buddies
Yeah.
and, just meet all kinds of fun people, and I don't know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know
Mm.
what? Staying open to the world,
Yeah.
I will again, I think I might have said this earlier, the greatest gift being in this show gave me was the chance to make connections with so many different people after the show. I'm friends with many I was in the show with, many. Um, but when people come up to me, first of all, it absolutely astounds me that anybody recognized me because I look like every old white Irish woman there is out there. So it astounds me when they recognize me. But the conversations are always so great and so happy. And I'm always so thrilled that they are happy that they got to say hi. I don't know. It sounds egotistical, maybe it isn't. I really it's just such my husband said, "Just enjoy it," and that's what I'm doing. It's just so fun to connect with people. So fun. I hope that
It
doesn't stop, but it will. I know it will.
it won't, no. And you know what? People will remember, right, the saying, how you make them feel. And you are spreading joy and staying open and just floating through life and welcoming whatever's supposed to come into your life and just being, there's a freedom. There's a certain freedom and energy that you radiate. And I am so fortunate to have made the connection, that and that's something that's lasting. Yeah, it's been true pleasure. I'll definitely have you back. We'll have a lot of fun. I may even wear that suit and I'll come rock it with you somewhere.
Okay, great. I'll ask you the
Yeah,
questions. We'll flip it.
exactly, exactly. No, seriously. And it's been true pleasure. And thank you so much for sharing your story. You really are an inspiration, Leanne.
Oh, thanks, Denisa. I think the same of you. And I'm definitely following you on Instagram now, so keep it up. You're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And to our viewers, listeners, to find out more about Leanne, click on her bio link below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beyond the Bar Podcast. Follow us on all social media channels. And until next time, stay curious and stay inspired.